Well, two men were found shot to death inside a burning home in Elizabethtown, and today we are learning more about the suspect arrested in the case.
WDRB's Darby Bean was at the scene yesterday, and she joins us now. So, Darby, what have you learned about this case?
Well, from the very beginning, police said that there were suspicious circumstances surrounding the death of the two men in that house where they were found. They've been identified now as Blake Francis and Anthony Garrett, and firefighters had responded to that house fire on Hennon Lane around 5 o'clock yesterday morning. That's where they found those two men inside. Police later said that both of them had been shot, and police said the fire was intentionally set. It ended up leading police to a man named Dustin Caudill, who they say confessed to the shooting and to starting the fire. You see his face right there. He now faces several charges, including arson and murder.
Darby, you've learned this is not Caudill's first time behind bars, correct?
It is not. We've learned he has a violent past going all the way back to the 90s. We went down to the basement here today to find some of these archives and records that we have. They show he's previously served time in prison. An old newspaper article from the Courier-Journal says he shot his mother and his younger brother to death. This footage that you're seeing now is that archive video we talked about from when we covered his time in court. Caudill was just 15 at the time, and he was living in Meade County. The article says he told police that his family beat on him and he snapped. The Department of Corrections tells us today that he began serving his sentence for that in September of 1996. He was released on parole in 2020, but he was back in custody in May of 2023 for violating that parole, and the Department of Corrections said he got his final discharge from custody just a little more than 3 months ago in July.
Wow. So what's next for this current case where the two men were found dead in the home?
We had a court hearing today. It was in Elizabethtown, and he has a bond set at $1 million. So now we'll continue to see where this goes through the court system, but that's the latest in that. He is expected back in court this coming Wednesday.
All right, very interesting. Darby, thank you for your reporting and digging into the archives for us.
And they like to call us thugs and gangsters, and you have a thug, and I guess you could say a gangster right here sitting on your screen. This guy's name, as you heard in the audio name, is Dustin Caudill. And this dude allegedly pretty much murdered two men. But 30 years prior, this dude took out his mom and his brother in 1994 at the age of 15. As y'all saw, I inserted the picture right there because I didn't expect them to put any, I didn't know it would be any footage from that. I never even heard of that particular case. But of course, back then when it happened, I was only 5 years old. I didn't live anywhere near where this happened at. So if I have any other person out there that lives in this state, I believe it's in Kentucky, can y'all please let me know if you heard about this case, if you heard about this kid when he was a kid at the time, and why this name may sound familiar to you now. But fast forward to 2024, you have this dude who cannot shake the habit. And first off, he gets out, and then last year violates his parole. And then he goes and he takes out two additional people this year, like about 2 weeks ago, roughly around 2 weeks ago, on the day before Halloween, on the 30th. And like I said, he just can't seem to shake the habit of being a criminal. And when you look at someone like this, does this look like someone that's well adjusted? Probably not. I mean, anyone that would take out their mom and their brother at the age of 15 is not well adjusted at all. I'm actually amazed that he got as long as he did in prison for the crime in which he committed, considering that he could have got a slap on the wrist even back then, but they pretty much handled him like he was an adult. So he did it when he was 15, and then he went in when he was around probably roughly around 16, 17. So something around that length, because the guy's 45 now. He's 45 now, and he did what he did back in 1994, and now he's back in the system again. This time he's going for life. I have a feeling, and a strong feeling, they're going to throw the book at him. The lady in the audio said that he got a $1 million bond. Honestly, even though it doesn't look like he can afford it, I wouldn't take the risk. I would not have given him any bond for what he did. As far as I'm concerned, he is a repeat offender. He did it 30 years ago, and 30 years later he did it again to two other individuals. Now, what I found to be very interesting when I was looking through my search to get a audio to go with this, because when I typed his name into YouTube, I didn't find anything as far as a news clip audio is concerned. But what I did find that was very interesting is that apparently Dustin had a whole YouTube channel. Imagine my surprise when this popped up, because I was looking for him because I saw his picture first on Google, and then I said, let me type in Dustin Caudill and see if any news story pops up, but nothing popped up. But this did. This is him. That is the same person as you saw in the mugshot. That is him. He had a whole YouTube channel, and that is his picture. That is his name, spelled the same exact way. And it was pretty much a blank channel. It had some like playlist there or something to that effect, or it wasn't really, it was a blank channel. He didn't have any content there. And then I said, let me just go ahead and click on the more about this channel, and what I found there was even more interesting. Look at the date it was created, October 12th, 2024. That means he created his YouTube channel roughly around 2.5 weeks before he killed those two men. He just created the channel. Who knows what he would have put on there now that we know his life and what he did recently, what he just did. Who knows what kind of content he probably would have put out there into the world. Maybe it's a good thing that they did get him, but who knows, maybe he could have tried to change his life around. I don't know. But he, like I said, he just could not shake his past. He couldn't shake whatever he had going on. And now look at him. But I thought that was very interesting that I couldn't find any news clip on it, because the audio that y'all heard, I was able to get that from an actual news site that covered the story and not on YouTube itself. And he created a whole channel roughly about 2 weeks before he did what he did. That is crazy. Who would have thought that that's what I would have stumbled upon with this? So all in all, in summary, we had a person who was a teenager who took out his mother and his brother, spent 30 years behind bars for that. He got out, violated his parole in 2023. Fast forward to October the 12th, when he just created a YouTube channel, and then 2 weeks later he killed 2 more people, and now he's back in jail. Most likely he's going to get life this time. At least if it was up to me, that's what it would be. Now, I don't know what the capital punishment is like out there in the state of Kentucky, but if the capital punishment is on the books, on the table, I could see him possibly being up for that. Either life without parole or the death penalty. That's really, at this point, that's the only 2 options that he has if it were left up to me. But then again, it's not left up to me, so it has to be left up to the judge. But we shall see what happens.